Okay, after we have installed Authentication service, let's move on a step further to enhance our configuration a little bit. Authentication services is part of the Privileged Access Suite for Unix, and together with that suite there is something that's called Privilege Manager for Unix. If you look around in the One Identity or in the Quest portfolio, you may even see that there's a Privilege Manager for Windows coming from the case business unit of Quest, or not of One Identity but of Quest. We as One Identity can sell it, but it belongs to Quest. So we don't gonna cover this in our video series here, but you should know that there is something like least privilege management for Windows platforms available in a different product as well. So coming back for the Unix variants we have in our Privileged Access Suite for Unix, and together with Authentication service, as I said, we have the Privilege Manager for Unix, or we have the Privilege Manager for sudo. So it's pretty much the same thing, but one is used to control sudo files via a centralized policy server, and the other one is using an additional product to replace sudo that's called the Privilege Manager for Unix, which offers a little bit more sophisticated and fine-grained capabilities compared to what sudo is offering to you. But we want to cover this in later videos of it. If you want to install this Privilege Manager, whatever you want, the first one is to go for the One Identity website in the support area to download the software if you not have already downloaded the complete suite. So if you just have only downloaded Authentication services, you still need the Privilege Manager software. To download this, point your browser at the usual target, support.oneidentity.com. And if you go on that website, you're going to see Privilege Management, where all these products should be located, but it's not there. You only see Authentication services. This is just the major ones, or maybe the popular ones. And if you want to go for the Privilege Manager for Unix or for sudo, just go for via Browse All Products in the upper right corner. And now you can go for the products starting with P, and you see there are 4 products, but only one is shown. Yeah, this is page 1, so flip to page 2, and you're going to see that there are the additional or the missing 3 will shown as the Privilege Manager for sudo, Privilege Manager for Unix, or the complete suite. As we have already installed the Authentication services in our demo environment, we just need the appropriate Privilege Manager, and the first one we're going to download is the Privilege Manager for sudo. So if you just click on it, it will prompt you for the usual process to select the software and also to authenticate and so on, and then you should be able to download the software. Okay, once you have done this, you're going to have some kind of zipped tar file. You just have to transfer to your destination server you want to equip that software with, and then you need to unpack it, and then you're going to end up in something like this one here. So you're going to have a directory with a couple of stuff in it, a couple of directories called agents, server, and sudo plugin, and a Preflight shell script that is pretty much similar to the one we have used to do some kind of Preflight checking as we have installed Authentication services before. So the first thing, very easy, is just to run this Preflight shell script just to check if everything's all right. I have now put this on my newly created Linux server, and I'm just going to install the Privilege Manager to this system. So we just run this shell. And now it comes back with a couple of choices you have to make. So it is asking you, do you want to install a server? Do you want to have a policy client or shell or whatever additional programs to be installed? Or do you want to install the sudo plugin? To understand this, I have to reference back to the video that is talking about the Privileged Access Suite for Unix or Authentication service in much more detail, as some kind of intro we have in our series available as well. That will explain briefly what all these products mean, what all the components are, and how they fit together. But I will not repeat this at this current place. So in this case, we just want to install a server. And so we just run this script, and it should come back with something similar like this with all pass. So everything looks to be all right, and the product is ready to be installed. Great, let's continue. So the next thing is what to install and how. So if you see there's nothing else more, there's no script or whatever, if you go to server directory, you're going to find a couple of packages packages for the various instances or variations or versions of Unix we support with that product. And the one we are looking for is Linux x86-64. So let's change to that directory. And what you're going to see, you're going to just find two packages here, one in the Debian format and one of the RPM standard format. And yeah, nothing easier to like installing this kind of software. So it's pretty much easy. RPM -- install QPM RPM. That's it. And installation is finished. The next thing you need to do is just run the server configuration script as it is just printed out in the screen. And that's exactly what we're going to do now. So we just run optquest sbin pm server config. And just remember, you know optquest bin already from the authentication services. Now you have a couple of additional programs installed in the optquest sbin directory as well. Okay, so let's execute the command. And now it's asking us for the user license. We're just gonna skip this. We're gonna, of course, accept the user license. Yes. And it comes back with some kind of warnings. We're gonna tackle this later. And now it wants to have a couple of input from our side. So the first one is it is using a special user called PM policy that will be created, and of course a good user needs a good password. So in this case we're going to give it our standard password. Not something you should do in your productive environment, of course, but for our demo it's quite okay. And type it in again. Okay. It says it does not like my password because it's a very simple one. Of course I know, but whatever it takes. It just accepted it. It just gives you a warning. And that's it. Your server is configured, and now you can continue with additional configuration steps.